Fox Sports welcomes you to Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York for the Buffalo Bills' 1995 home opener against the Carolina Panthers, both teams coming off losses 1 week ago. Good afternoon, everybody. Kenny Albert, along with Anthony Munoz. Anthony, we're in Buffalo, yet many NFL experts refer to Carolina as Buffalo South. Former Bills general manager Bill Polian and 4 ex-Bill players are with the Carolina Panthers, including quarterback Frank Reich, who spent 9 years as Jim Kelly's backup.
Well, yesterday when we were talking to Frank, I thought maybe we would see some big emotions, some, feelings overflowing, but he was very businesslike, very poised. He said his only concern was coming out of here today with a win. But when you talk about concerns, you can't look past their offensive line, where they have 2 rookies starting on the left side. Getting his first start is Frank Garcia at left guard. Blake Brockermeyer, who gave up 3.5 sacks last week to Chris Dolman, is the left tackle.
A total of 9 sacks. Frank Reich sacked 9 times in last Sunday's 23-20 overtime loss to the Falcons. And he comes here and faces a defense which he practiced against for the last 10 years, but for the first time, he's on the other side.
Well, I believe it's a much more improved Buffalo front four as far as rushing the passer, with the addition of Bryce Paup from the Green Bay Packers. Then you have Bruce Smith on the right side, offensive left side, along with Cornelius Bennett. Bruce Smith is a guy that you have to account for every single play and put 2 guys on him each play. And that's where Blake Brockermeyer and Frank Garcia come into play, because it's their job today to take care of big number 78.
Well, Bruce Smith and the Buffalo Bills getting set for the opening kickoff with the Carolina Panthers. Anthony and I will return to Rich Stadium for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station. Welcome back to Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The Bills coming off the 22-7 loss in Denver. The Panthers defeated in Atlanta by the score of 23-20. Number 80 is Dwight Stone, the former Steeler. Number 23, Randy Baldwin, await the Steve Christie opening kickoff. Here we go, underway in Buffalo. Dwight Stone has some trouble with it in the end zone, and the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. The 10-year Buffalo Bill, Frank Reich, 329 yards last week. That was a career high. The men protecting Reich, very inexperienced, a total of 23 career starts. Brockermeyer and Garcia, both rookies. Baldwin, Christian, the receivers, Green and Carrier, and the tight end, the former Bill, Pete Metzelar. 1st and 10 on the 20. Randy Baldwin up the middle, stopped after a gain of just 1. Ted Washington, the first man in, signed as a free agent from the Denver Broncos. Phil Hansen in as well. Hansen and Washington, along with Bruce Smith. The Bills, one of only 4 NFL teams to play a 3-4 defense. Bennett, Maddox, Curry, and the Pro Bowler from Green Bay, Bryce Paup, Smith, Schultz, Jones, and Burris. 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain by Baldwin. Bob Christian, the former Chicago Bear, picks up 5 yards up to the 26.
Kenny, you know what's interesting about this Buffalo defense? Back when Bruce Smith first got in the league, a lot of teams used to run right at Bruce Smith. He wasn't in the type of shape he is now, so they knew they could wear him down, just putting 1 or 2 guys on him. Now, most teams run away from him, but the problem you have is his quickness, his pursuit to the ball. Could be interesting to see how they cut him off when they run away from him.
3rd down and 4. 3 Panther wide receivers. Carrier in motion. Reich's pass is complete. Mark Carrier picks up the 1st down. Mark Carrier, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Cleveland Brown, gains 5, and the Panthers 1st down.
You know, you can talk all about, Bruce Smith and Blake Brockermeyer right here. You can talk all you want about helping that rookie left tackle, but having played for Jim McNally, the offensive line coach for the Panthers, I know he's telling him, he told him all week, there's times where you just have to block them one-on-one, and he did right there.
and 10, right to the air once again. Lawyer Tillman could not hold on. Tillman's 6th NFL season out of Auburn. So it will be 2nd and 10.
I had a chance to work a little bit with Blake Brockemeyer this past summer as a consultant. I mentioned Jim McNally. I played my whole career for McNally. Had a chance to go down to the Carolina mini camps and work with this kid. He is going to be a great left tackle when he learns more about the football game.
2nd and 10, Randy Baldwin works his way up to the 37-yard line. Gains 4. He was met by Marlo Perry. Randy Baldwin, Anthony, did not carry the ball very often last year, primarily a kick returner. Only 23 carries last season. Last week, opening game against the Falcons, 17 carries, 43 yards, but he heads to the sidelines on 3rd down. 3rd and 5. Movement prior to the snap.
Bruce Smith was across the line of scrimmage wanting to get that first hit on former teammate Frank Reich.
Offside, 78, defense.
Bruce Smith, number 78, coming across the line of scrimmage before the ball snapped. He's quick, a little quicker though on that one.
Anthony, last year, Bruce Smith led the NFL at offsides, and that will lead to a 1st and 10 for the Panthers. 13 offsides calls in the 1994 season. Ball moved up to the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Carrier in motion. Baldwin quickly taken down by Bryce Pop after a gain of 4.
You know, talking to Frank Reich yesterday, most teams run predominantly right side, meaning right here you have P. Metzelaars lined up on the left side. Most teams run their tight end to the right side. Here they line them up on the left side. They get a nice double team on Bruce Smith, eliminates it from the play, and last week they had Metzelaars over on the right side just about the whole game.
And the Panthers have already used all 3 of their tight ends during this opening drive. Play action on 2nd and 6. The pass intended for Carrier, and it was underthrown.
Underthrown to the man there, and you had it was kind of hard to tell who they were going to because Carrier was going down the sideline, and he looked like he was open. And the lawyer Tillman was there, who made a reach for the football, and it was kind of thrown right between. Underthrown Carrier, overthrown Tillman. Maybe a little mix-up on that play.
Now, Carrier donates $100 for every pass he felt he should have caught. Does that one fall under that category?
No, I think he got out of that one because that was well underthrown if that was for him.
3rd down and 6. Right to the air once more. It's incomplete. Intended for Willie Green. Thomas Smith on the coverage. And there is Bruce Smith, who has some words with the rookie left guard, Frank Garcia.
Well, having been in that situation myself, you see a defensive lineman talking to the offensive lineman. There has to be something going on there that Bruce Smith feels is illegal. Maybe a chop block or something like that. And as an offensive lineman, that's totally legal, but defensive linemen do not like that when you go after their legs.
Tommy Barnhart to punt. Jeff Burris, second-year man out of Notre Dame, calls for the fair catch at the 17-yard line. So the Buffalo Bills will go to the offense for the first time today. 37-yard punt by Barnhart.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. By United Airlines and its 55,000 employee owners. Come fly our friendly skies. By McDonald's. Have you had your break today? And by Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you.
As your car changes flat,
Anthony, believe it or not, that video you just saw from Jim Kelly's restaurant here in Buffalo. 1st and 10 for Kelly and the Bills from their own 17-yard line. Thurman Thomas around the right side up to the 20. Thomas gains 3. Jim Kelly in his 10th season. He is the oldest Bill at 35 years of age, although he said he feels like he's 30.
2nd down.
The offensive line, Fina, the rookie Brown out of Pitt, Kent Hull, Corbin Lucina, and Glenn Parker. Thomas and Gardner in the backfield. Russell Copeland and Andre Reed with the tight end, Lonnie Johnson. 2nd down and 7. Movement prior to the snap. Our referee today is Johnny Greer.
False start, 79, offense. Still 2nd down.
Well, that's the rookie Reuben Brown, their #1 pick. And just prior to that play, both inside linebackers were getting ready to blitz. And that probably caused him to jump. As you see right here, the left guard, Reuben Brown, you see the linebackers coming up. He says, hey, they must be moving towards me, so I have to move.
Kelly on 2nd down. Good defensive play by Rod Smith, the right quarterback. Former New England Patriot. He breaks up the pass attempt, and it will be 3rd down and long. The Panthers with a veteran defense. We talked about the youth on their offensive line. Well, the defensive line, Williams, Cragen, and Fox, a combined 27 years of the NFL. Connor, Bailey, the former Bill, Mills, and Lamar Lathan. In the secondary, Rod Smith, Brent Maxey, Bubba McDowell, and former San Francisco 49er, Tim McKyer. 3rd down and 12. Kelly out of the shotgun. Over the middle, and the pass is short. Intended for Russell Copeland. So now the Bills will be forced to punt as they go 3 and out. A problem they had last week against the Denver Broncos. 8 of their 11 drives were 3 plays and out.
And that's what put a lot of pressure on their defense that eventually wore down in that high altitude in Denver. So they need to maintain, control the football, and give that defense some rest this week.
Chris Moore will punt into the wind. Eric Gulliford awaiting back on the 30-yard line. Nowhere to go. Flag on the play. Carwell Gardner made the stop. 53-yard punt by Moore. But it will be called back. That's 3 early penalties on the Bills.
Well, especially on the punt, all the guys know that they cannot leave until the ball is booted away as they march back.
Number 94 of the kicking team, illegally downfield prior to the kick, will penalize 5 yards and re-kick.
That's Mark Pike, who is, along with the injured Steve Tasker, one of the key players on special teams for the Bills. In fact, Marv Levy said Pike could be the best big man he has ever coached on the special teams.
And you mentioned Steve Tasker. Mark Pike, for a big man, has actually been in more special teams plays than Steve Tasker, who has gone to several Pro Bowls because of his special teams plays. In fact, 6 Pro Bowls for Steve Tasker.
Pike, 6'4", 272 pounds, and now Moore from his own end zone. You can hear the wind as the football takes a Carolina Panthers bounce, and the Panthers will start in Bills territory. 38-yard punt by Moore. Carolina Panthers head coach Dom Capers going with the turtleneck. He's used to the cold weather. Defensive coordinator in Pittsburgh the past 3 years. The Panthers 3-2 during the preseason. But the losses to the Bears and the 49ers were close, and then they took the Falcons to overtime last week.
Well, a team that has a lot of experience. You use the word expansion to some of the players, and they're offended. They say, we have Super Bowl and Pro Bowl players in here.
Check that, Derek Moore inserted into the game in place of Randy Baldwin. And Moore, the former Lion and 49er, takes it up the middle for 13 yards and the first down.
Well, Derek Moore, you see right here, who just makes it right to the line of scrimmage. Here's a guy that the 49ers picked up that he could help replace Ricky Waters. Then they let him go. He comes down to Carolina. They say, we got to get this guy more involved in the game. And right there, he breaks a nice one over that right side.
Moore and Howard Griffith in the backfield. Here's Moore once again on 1st and 10, but this time he was met immediately by the combination of Ted Washington and then Bryce Pop. So on 1st down, Moore loses a yard.
Well, you talk to the Carolina Panthers, the coaches and the players, as we did the last couple days. And sure, the thing that stands out are the 9 sacks they had last week. And they got to be concerned about that. But the one thing they wanted to drive home is the thing that stops a pass rush is if you can run the ball effectively. And so far this first quarter, they've come out and tried to establish that running game.
It's now 2nd down and 11. Moore once again hit for a loss. Marlo Perry and Mark Maddox, the inside linebackers, combined to stop Moore.
Well, I think those are two guys that are really overlooked with all the stars they have on that front 7 with Bruce Smith and Bryce Pop and Cornelius Bennett. A key to this defense is how Perry, number 58, and Maddox, 55, play. And the last 2 plays, they've stepped it up and stuffed the run there.
They now come out. Bills go to the nickel defense on 3rd down and 11. 5 defensive backs for the Bills. The pass intended for Willie Green. So it will be 4th down and long. And Tommy Barnhart will come out to hold for the field goal kicker, John Casey.
We talked to Willie Green, the wide receiver, yesterday. He said in making his decision of what team to sign with, after they signed John Casey, he felt that they were serious about putting a good team together, and that kind of influenced his decision.
Oh, they quick butt it downfield as Casey able to get it all the way down to the 2-yard line. Tom Capers pumped up as they snap the ball to the place kicker Casey, and the quick punt down to the 2-yard line.
Well, Kenny, right there, great move. You have nobody back to receive a punt. Why not punt it? Let your guys get down and cover it.
Instead of attempting the 54-yard field goal, Coach Tom Capers has John Casey quick punt the ball downfield. Last week, they pulled within 1 in the final minute, and Capers elected to go for 2 and the victory. He had a penalty, nullified the 2-point attempt. They were forced to kick the extra point, but Tom Capers letting people around the NFL know who's boss. Herman Thomas up the middle, gains 2. Bills going to the 2-back offense this season. Thurman Thomas, 6 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and the 2-back setup should certainly help Thurman.
Well, it should. You eliminate a lot of the wear and tear on him. When you go with the 1-back offense, it calls for Thurman Thomas to block a lot more on the passing situations. Now with the 2 backs, the other back can handle some of the pass blocking, and as they do here, they split him out to the right. Let him catch the football, which he can do very well.
And the handoff goes to Carwell Gardner. First down for the Bills. Gardner carried the ball only once last week. That was on 4th and goal from the 1, and he was unable to get into the end zone, but this time, Gardner gains 9.
Well, you see right here, Reuben Brown, the rookie left tackle. Nice block right there, moving Gerald Williams out of the way. Not only a yard or 2, but he takes him completely out of the play, allowing Carwell Gardner to make a nice gain.
1st and 10. Bills on their own 15. Thurman Thomas around the left side. 8-yard gain. Finally brought down by his former teammate, Carlton Bailey.
A lot of times, as an offensive lineman, you're satisfied with just making the initial hit, feels good, and then you let the back do the rest. But the thing you're seeing here by John Fina, the left tackle, and Reuben Brown, is they stay with their guys. And right there you see number 35, Carwell Gardner, the lead blocker, which is something they wanted more of with the 2-back offense. leading the way for Thurman Thomas.
Second down and 3. Thomas swings across the 26-yard line, and it looks as if the Bills have the first down. We'll have to wait and see where they mark the ball. And yes, it is a Buffalo Bills first down. Bills had trouble rushing the ball last week against Denver, only 60 yards rushing. Yet they're off to a good start today, the combination of Thomas and Gardner.
Well, not only Thomas and Gardner, but you look at that left side, John Fina, 6'4", 282, and of course Reuben Brown, who we've pointed out a couple times here, 304-pounder.
Gardner barrels his way up to the 30. Gain of 4 yards for Gardner, 6th National Football League season out of Louisville.
You know, it's interesting, in our game here today with the Buffalo Bills and the Carolina Panthers, right now the Panthers are on the field. They have a chance to go back to their 34 defense, base defense, which only 4 teams run in the NFL now. Of course, last week against the Falcons, with that red gun run and shoot, they were in a passing defense the whole time, so here they get a chance to go back to their base defense.
Thomas, 7th play of the drive, and the Bills have kept it on the ground all 7.
Well, we mentioned earlier their situation last week against Denver in the Mile High City. One of the things that happened is they were 3 and out a bunch of times last week. Therefore, the defense was on the field for a long 81 plays last week against the Broncos. And this is what their defense loves to see, as the Buffalo Bills right now are controlling the line of scrimmage and staying out on the football field.
3rd down and 2. Andre Reed in motion. Flags as Kelly was looking for the tight end, Lonnie Johnson.
Well, that flag's thrown right in the area where usually you have the holding penalty against the offensive line. You see Gerald Williams pointing the other way.
And Dom Capers will decline the penalty on 4th down. So the Bills will punt.
We'll get the call here.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 79. Offense is declined. 3rd down. Correction. 4th down.
79, Reuben Brown, the rookie out of Pittsburgh, the #1 pick. They love his aggressive style, his temperament as a football player, and right there he gets a little over-aggressive by putting the hand to the face.
Eric Gulliford back deep. And Gulliford calls for the fair catch. 38-yard punt by Moore, which matches his first effort. Kenny Albert, Anthony Munoz back in Buffalo as we take a look at Niagara Falls, not too far from Rich Stadium.
Now, is that the side we went down in the barrel, or was it the other one? I forget.
It was that side.
Was it? I tell you, that was one of the most exciting experiences I ever had. No, I don't think I'd do that.
Pretty big barrel.
Yes, a couple barrels, put them together. At least for myself, you'd have to get your own barrel. You get a medium-sized barrel.
And some of these Panthers offensive linemen would need pretty big barrels as well. 1st and 10, Carolina. Randy Baldwin looked to cut it outside, and he was dragged down by Phil Hansen.
So far in this first quarter, before that run, 27 yards rushing the football, something that they did not do last week. And they know, as I mentioned earlier, as an offensive line, to relieve a lot of the pressure from that pass rush, they have to run the football effectively. That means move those defenders out of the way. And right there, Phil Hansen will have nothing to do with that, making a nice play.
2nd down and 10. Reich has completed just 1 of 5 pass attempts. And they keep it on the ground with Baldwin. Taken to the ground by Bruce Smith. Gain of just 1.
Little lead draw there. Quarterback Frank Reich goes back, gives a little delay. As you see Bruce Smith right here, who comes up and reads it well. Get the line going to the right, coming back to the left. Bruce Smith making a nice recovery and making that tackle. That's the thing that a big man that weighs 265, 270, Bruce Smith has that quickness to recover and run down a running back, which is amazing.
3 wide receivers. Flags on 3rd and 9.
I believe it was Matt Elliott, the right guard, jumping too soon.
Offense. Still third down.
Yes, Matt Elliott, who did not play last week due to a calf injury. Spent 2 seasons with the Redskins.
Right here you see his helmet. Matt Elliott, who before the game was out there on the football field running around a little bit, trying to loosen up that calf. As I talked to him, he said, well, it feels pretty good, but most of the times when you talk to guys that are overcoming little bangs and bruises, they'll tell you that they're feeling great.
3rd down and 14. Panthers keep it on the ground with Vince Workman. Workman gains 4 yards, and now the Panthers will punt.
Vince Workman, you see him right there, number 34. Started out up in Green Bay, then signed. He was down in Tampa Bay. They thought maybe that was the guy down in Tampa Bay that they could bring in and would take over the running duties, but then they draft Eric Brett, therefore releasing Vince Workman. Now he's here with the Panthers.
Jeff Burris backpedals to the 22. 16-yard gain by Burris. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in Hollywood.
Hey, Kenny, the Lions' game plan to come back to 8-man front of Minnesota intended to stop Barry Sanders. Pass on 1st down. Did it work? To perfection. Man coverage on Herman Moore. He beats him. Signature touchdown catch. We're all tied at 7. Back to Kenny and Anthony.
All right, thanks, JB. NFC Central battle between the Lions and the Vikings. We're in Buffalo. The Carolina Panthers' first ever meeting with the Buffalo Bills. Scoreless late first quarter. Bills start out from the 38. Thomas out of the backfield. Thomas met by Carlton Bailey and Rod Smith. 4-yard gain for Thurman Thomas.
One of the things is we talked to Jim Kelly and Coach Marv Levy. They mentioned they wanted to get Thurman Thomas more out of the backfield on the passing situation and utilize his excellent hands and his super ability to come out and catch the football as they did right there.
And that was Kelly's first completion of the day. He's 1 for 4. Thomas up the middle. Thomas fumbled the football. The Panthers say they have it. Thomas fumbled only once all of last season.
3rd down. Bills recovered as you see the official making the call. A nice shot here of Thurman Thomas following the blocker as he takes it in the hole, and he has both arms wrapped around the football, but he still fumbles it.
Darian Connor knocked it out, number 56.
Darian Connor making the hit. Sam Mills right there, but it is Darian Connor, number 56, who knocks the ball loose.
Once again, flags on 3rd down.
John Fina, number 70, left tackle. You see Glenn Parker right now, the right tackle. Kind of mixing it up with one of the Panthers as they put Lamar Lathan, number 57, the outside linebacker. But it was John Fina, the left tackle, who jumped early.
70, offense. Prior to the snap.
You see right here, John Fina, the left tackle. It doesn't take a whole lot to get that flag thrown.
John Fina did not play a good portion of the game last week due to an elbow injury, and that will do it for the first quarter. Only 2 pass completions and no score in Buffalo. The Bills and the Panthers will be back from Rich Stadium. Only 2 pass completions in the first quarter, 1 for Jim Kelly, 1 for Frank Reich, but both teams have run the ball pretty well. That's when you look back to last week, neither team was able to run the ball well, but today not much problem.
Well, it's obvious what they're trying to do, and that's get after each other, pound each other with the run, and hopefully wear down each other's pass rush. If they can do that, both teams have run the ball well, as you've said. It slows those defensive linemen with the type of defenses they run, letting them get upfield. It will help out.
This second quarter begins with penalty flags. The officials continue to conference.
Not only the officials discussing things, but you see Reuben Brown, number 79, was kind of off to the side with his left tackle, John Fina, and they were in a little bit of a discussion, maybe trying to figure out, okay, what are those guys on the defensive side doing, and how can we improve?
Neutral zone infraction, left defensive tackle.
How can we maybe improve or better ourselves in what we've done so far in this first quarter? You need that constant communication, especially as linemen. You can point out one guy, as we've been pointing out, a Reuben Brown or a John Fina, but if all 5 guys aren't on the same page, along with the tight end communicating constantly, it doesn't matter how individuals are playing. You have to play as a group. And so far, maybe they need a little more sharpening up because there's been a lot of penalties. Maybe that's something they're discussing.
Yes, 6 penalties so far. 3rd down and 6 for the Bills. And Kelly's pass once again is short. He was under pressure, and he looked to hit Carwell Gardner out of the backfield. Kelly just 1 for 5 for a total of 4 yards.
Well, you notice on this left side, you have to run an excellent stunt of picking Reuben Brown on that left side, which frees Gerald Williams coming around. Right there, you see Reuben Brown getting picked. Forces Kelly to bring it down and scramble. That was a super stunt run on that side. You need to be on the same level when you're area blocking as an offensive line.
High kick by Moore. Gulliford. Fair catch at the 23-yard line. 34-yard punt by Moore. Panthers to the offense with Frank Reich when we return to Buffalo.
Come on, move the car.
Sunday is brought to you by American Honda, celebrating their 25th anniversary of selling cars in America. By Lay's and Wavy Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one. By Heineken, the #1 selling imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough. And by the U.S. Navy. You and the Navy, full speed ahead.
Right here you see Andre Reed going one-on-one against Tim McKyron, and they might look at the film tomorrow and say, well, he did his job. But to me, in order to sell what's going on away from him, if you look right here, Andre Reed takes off. If you can just hold it right there, you saw Tim McKyron look back because Andre Reed was not going full speed. Therefore, Tim McKyron saying, well, he's not going full speed. It must not be coming back this way, so I can break back to the football.
And now 1st and 10 for the Carolina Panthers. Howard Griffith gains 4. Let's check in with James Brown in Hollywood, another McDonald's game break.
All right, Kenny. Isaac Bruce, big play man for the Rams last week, continuing this week. Short slant route, nice pass in the middle, no safety in the middle. Bruce all the way to pay dirt, shouldn't have slowed up. However, Rams do lead it 7-3. Let's take you back to Kenny and Anthony.
Isaac Bruce led the NFL with 4 preseason touchdowns, now 2 in the regular season, plus the key block punt last week.
And last week up in Green Bay, where he was the key to that victory for the Rams.
And he was named Special Teams Player of the Week in the NFC. Griffith, a former teammate of Isaac Bruce. Griffith with the Rams last year.
Another defensive player that I think is overlooked in this Bill defense right here is the big guy in the middle. Ted Washington, who stops things up there, allows other guys to run around free, and he makes the stop. Curtis Whitley kind of bypasses him, leaving him up to Frank Garcia, but there's no way that Frank Garcia is going to handle Ted Washington one-on-one on that play, and he makes the tackle. See him, 6'4", 315 pounds out of Louisville.
3rd down and 3. Bills in the nickel defense. 5 defensive backs. Right under pressure, and he is taken down. Cornelius Bennett, first Bills sack. Right sack 9 times a week ago. And Wright is
right
still down.
Excuse me, Kenny, right there you see Cornelius Bennett, number 97, who usually drops on the long-distance 3rd down plays, and right there he comes untouched up the middle, and he gets a sack on former teammate Frank Reich.
5-time Pro Bowler. Barnhart will punt from his own 10-yard line.
Nice punt.
Burris. Good second effort and a penalty flag behind the returner as Howard Griffith came together.
Ken right there.
Ken Irvin.
Excuse me. I think it was Ken Irvin blocking in the back. He took his man right past the ball carrier.
And that is Ken Irvin, 53-yard punt.
I just want to let you know, Kenny, you noticed when I was talking about Ted Washington, and he's from Louisville, I learned how to say that. I first got to Cincinnati, and I used to say Louisville. But living not too far from there, they said, hey, it's Louisville. So, you know, you got it, Louisville.
Did I say Louisville earlier?
No, I'm just kind of clearing it up for myself so I don't mess it up and say Louisville. But it is Louisville. You know, you learn when you're living in that
Holding
area.
number 27 of the receiving team during the run back. First down.
No score between the Panthers and the Bills from Buffalo. We'll be back in a moment. Kenny Albert, Anthony Munoz back in Buffalo. The Bills and the Panthers are scoreless. Jim Kelly and his longtime backup, Frank Reich. Frank said that he spent as much time with Jim as his wife Lynn did during the years here in Buffalo, but Frank Reich did say they enjoyed a very close and deep friendship, which will continue despite the distance between Buffalo and Carolina. The pass is deflected and picked off by Tim McKyer. Tim McKyer, the 10-year veteran, the Panthers, his 6th National Football League team, comes up with the interception on the pass by Kelly.
You're seeing this more and more, Kenny, in the league. You're seeing the quick passes. But what happens right there, Mike Fox, number 93, gets his big hand up. He stands 6'7", 6'8", as it is. What an offensive lineman has to do when you want that quick pass thrown. Right here, you see Mike Fox hitting it down. You have to get the defensive lineman's hands down, chop them down so you give the quarterback the lane to throw. And they didn't right there.
Tim McKyer's 30th career interception. And Wright had to throw it away. He was being pressured by Bennett.
Cornelius Bennett coming off that open end, untouched once again. Last series, he came up the middle untouched for the sack, and right there, he was close to having another one. There was nobody there to pick him up. As you see right here, coming off the open side, both running backs go that way. Nobody picks him up. One of those guys has to pick up that outside linebacker, especially knowing that this Bills defense brings those guys on the pass.
Second down and 10, Derek Moore. Not much running room. So it will be 3rd down and 9. First turnover of the game, Anthony. Jim Kelly picked off by Tim McKyer. And the Panthers find themselves in excellent field position. Yet it is 3rd down and 9 on the Bills' 14-yard line.
Kenny, the thing that surprises me, when you're preparing for a team throughout the week, and I'm surprised that these guys don't realize as they're calling a timeout. You see Frank Reich walking off the field. You don't realize these guys are tall, and that should be put into a game plan that you have to cut these guys, and it wasn't done there.
Coming up for the Panthers as Frank Reich called timeout. He looked over at offensive line coach Jim McNally, who shrugged his shoulders and said, "What happened?"
Well, I've seen that plenty of times throughout my career, playing 13 years with Jim McNally. He's right on top of everything. Right there, you see him as he always paces the sideline. He wants perfection in his guys, and he coaches that way.
Two tight ends, Metzelar's in motion. Right, looking end zone. And the pass sails out of the end zone. Flags on the play. Back at the 30-yard line.
It will be against the Panthers. Bruce Smith, you can see him down there signaling towards the Panthers. Metzelaars was in the game in motion, and Frank Reich was looking his way, but it was covered well by that Buffalo Bill defense.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 68, offense. It's declined.
Well,
4th down.
that's the second hand to the face on that side. The first one being Frank Garcia. You can see him right there. Blake Brockemeyer coming out on Bruce Smith. You see the initial hit, and the initial hit, the hand goes right to the face.
62.
You cannot do that. You'll get flagged just about every time on that one.
32-yard field goal attempt. John Casey. It is no good. Wide right. Casey last year perfect from inside 40 yards, 13 of 13. And on this 32-yard attempt, he is wide right.
And I mentioned earlier, we talked to Willie Green, and he mentioned that the signing of John Casey initially told him that the Panthers were trying to send a message by getting an excellent kicker. And right here on this first opportunity, he misses it. Not real happy about it. He knows he should have had that. See right there, making the kick. And you know, kickers, that's a tough position. You're out there and you might get a couple shots a game, and you have to go in there and produce right away. He's looking at it, seeing it miss it.
Thurman Thomas finds a hole on first down across the 30. A gain of 9 yards. So Thurman Thomas, 7 carries, 30 yards so far this afternoon.
And they go right to the no-huddle offense, in which they said they would not run that much of it. But right here in the second quarter, they go right to it.
Thomas, first down Bills. Sam Mills on the stop, the longtime New Orleans Saint. Sam Mills played in 74 of 75 defensive plays for the Panthers last week against the Falcons. First down for the Bills on the reverse. Andre Reed. Anthony, last year the Bills led the NFL in carries by their wide receivers, 13 throughout the season, and they go to Andre Reed and gain another first down.
When you have a guy like Andre Reed who can run with the football and does a great job running, you see right here the fake to the right side. Andre Reed coming around. Nice block there. Thurman Thomas out in front blocking, leading the way. They set it up nicely by staying on the run, staying on the ground, and all of a sudden coming with the reverse.
Kelly on first down over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Lonnie Johnson. Last week, the Bills tight ends did not catch a pass.
Well, you look at why they did not complete that. Mike Fox, who's sitting right here, going against Corbin Lucina, number 68, the Bill right guard. Mike Fox gets a nice push, takes that, headbutts him right down the middle, gets him leaning a little bit to the outside, and takes the inside gap to pressure Kelly.
Kelly looking downfield, and it's picked off. Second interception. It's Brett Maxey. Maxey across the 40. And he's taken down by Glenn Parker. 50-yard return by Brett Maxey. So Jim Kelly has completed more passes to the opposing defenders here in the first half than to his own teammates. He's 1 for 8, and he has thrown 2 interceptions. Brett Maxey picked off a pass last week against the Falcons. That is career interception number 18.
Well, he just sat back there as Kelly tries to go back there and throw the football. Maxey just kind of lurking back there. They told us that he would be looking for the tight end, Lonnie Johnson, and right there he runs over, makes the interception, and you got number 12, Jim Kelly, trying to make a tackle, but he's going to get taken out. I believe that was Carlton Bailey, his former teammate, who took him to the turf. Glenn Parker makes the tackle.
First and 10 from the 21. Derek Moore up to the 15-yard line. So for the second time, the Carolina Panthers start out in terrific field position after the Kelly interception.
Well, most quarterbacks do not make the effort that Jim Kelly's making right here, trying to make a tackle. That just shows you what kind of mentality he has. trying to get away from Carlton Bailey and make the tackle. Carlton Bailey makes a nice block there for a linebacker.
Right on second down. The pass is complete. Howard Griffith was pulled down by Jeff Burris. What a prophetic quote from Carlton Bailey earlier this week. He said, Jim Kelly never invited me to work at his football camps. Now I can hit Jim and remind him about that.
Well, so far he has at least one hit to remind Jim Kelly. The interesting question will be, though, will he be invited to Jim Kelly's celebrity golf tournaments in the offseason?
You know, Kelly himself recruited as a linebacker by Joe Paterno at Penn State.
Well, right then, he didn't bend his knees. He should have delivered a blow. He tried to put the hands over the head. Good thing he's a quarterback.
Third down and 5 with Carrier in motion. Reich lobs one towards the end zone, and it's knocked away by Kurt Schultz. The pass intended for Metzelar's. Double coverage, and Kurt Schultz was there.
Well, he's going to a teammate that he's been with several years, and right here you see the blitz. Number 58, Marlo Perry, coming up, and he's trying to hit Pete Metzelars, who last week they connected for the first touchdown in Panther history, but he is double covered by Henry Jones, and then Ken Schultz makes a nice play coming over.
Yes, it was Schultz and Jones. This time, Casey connects. 34-yard field goal by John Casey. The Carolina Panthers on the scoreboard first. Kenny Albert, Anthony Munoz. Panthers over the Bills by the score of 3-0. There is Kerry Collins, first-round draft pick by the Panthers. The first-round draft pick by general manager Bill Polian with Carolina. Our Aflac trivia question: who was Bill Polian's first draft selection as general manager of the Bills back in 1986? Anthony will give you a couple of minutes to think this one over.
I think I'm set. I wish I had good hands or excellent hands like that draft pick.
And this is Garrett Holmes, who does not have excellent hands. He fumbles and is able to recover. First time he has touched the ball today. The rookie out of Division II Portland State had a good preseason, but had trouble with the kickoff from Casey.
Well, there's no excuse. Even as a rookie, you have to make sure you get the football first and then start to run. A lot of times you might try to run before you get the football. Right there, he has to make the catch first and then run the football.
So the Bills start out from their own 16-yard line. First and 10. And they go with one back, two tight ends. Movement prior to the snap once again. We've had a penalty-filled first half here in Buffalo.
Offense. Still first down.
Right guard, Corbin Lucina, the third-year player.
Tom Capers Panthers scoring first, 34-yard field goal by Casey. Three-play drive following Maxey's interception of Kelly.
And a nice run back to set up that field goal.
Thurman Thomas. 4-yard gain by Thomas. So it will be second down and 11 for the Bills. Jim Kelly just 1 of 8. He has completed one pass. A 4-yard reception by Thomas.
And they go, excuse me, Kenny, they go right to the no-huddle offense, which they did last series.
Kelly in trouble. Throws it downfield, and it is almost interception number 3 as Rod Smith was able to get his hands on it. And Kelly is now 1 for 9.
Pressure put on by Sean Price, number 92. See Kelly going back. He doesn't find his receiver and has to pull it down. Right there you see Sean Price actually gets the hit along with Darian Connor. And Rod Smith nearly picks off number 3 for the Carolina Panthers. See somebody on the ground injured as we take another look. Sean Price initially falls, trips over it, He's going against Reuben Brown there and gets a little pressure to the outside. Reuben Brown kind of turned to the outside, thinking that Kelly was further to the right, but Jim Kelly was right there, and Sean Price was able to make a hit. See right here, Carwell Gardner trying to strip it away and does a good job turning defensive player as Rod Smith tries to pick that one off, as we see an injured Buffalo Bill player. I believe it's Russell Copeland, number 85, the wide receiver for the Bills. As Jim Kelly looks on with some concern, that's one of the positions as we talk to them. You know, sure, they have Andre Reed, but they're looking for that next guy to step up with the breakaway speed, have a guy that, you know, Andre Reed's been around for a while, 11 years. They don't quite believe they have the guy that can run away from the defensive secondary, that can run free away from secondary people.
And that is Russell Copeland, who took over.
Right here, you see Russell Copeland.
Copeland took over for Don Beebe when he left to go to Carolina as the starting wide receiver.
Right there, you see him, and he is hit by Carlton Bailey. I mean, he hit him up high, and it was the leg that he grabbed as he hit the ground. He's in tremendous pain as he limps off the football field.
Third down and 11. Jim Kelly 1 for 9. Will operate out of the shotgun. Kelly's pass almost intercepted again. Chad Cota, the rookie, 7th-round draft pick on the coverage. And Jim Kelly is now 1 for 10 with 2 interceptions, and he hears some boos from the Rich Stadium crowd.
Well, he is hearing the boos as he comes out. You can see he's a little frustrated there. The thing about it, we've noticed on the pass plays, Jim Kelly gets back there, and he has to wait, and none of the receivers are getting open right away, so he has to wait for these guys to get open.
Moore's punt almost blocked. Gulliford all the way back at his own 29-yard line. 52-yard punt by Moore. Anthony, to return to our Aflac trivia question. Who was Bill Polian's first draft choice as general manager of the Buffalo Bills back in '86? Polian, of course, now the GM in Carolina. Want to take a stab at it?
Well, I said I wish I had as great a hands as he does coming out of the backfield. Right there you see Ronnie Harmon.
Ronnie Harmon, 16th overall selection back in 1986, now with the San Diego Chargers. Polian's Carolina Panthers, led by Frank Reich, ahead 3-0. First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Bob Christian, the fullback, up the middle. Gains 4 yards. Christian, the all-time leading rusher at Northwestern. Spent 2 years close to his former campus with the Chicago Bears.
2 years there. They talk about Bob Christian. They talk about his smarts. We asked Coach Capers who was a player going into camp, and after they came out of camp, it was a pleasant surprise. He said Bob Christian hardly ever makes a mistake. Very consistent in his play.
Second down and 6. Derek Moore close to the first down. The stop was made by Ted Washington. Moore gained 5 yards. The Panthers have used 5 different backs. 5 different running backs have carried the ball in this first half. And Derek Moore with 23 yards on his first 6 carries.
Right there, you see the left side. Just hitting enough of Bruce Smith. Frank Garcia tries to cut him. And Curtis Whitley making a nice block. They're really determined to make that running game going. They're doing a super job right now.
Third down and 1. Right to the air. Mark Carrier. First down for the Panthers. Mark Carrier down to the 41-yard line. 19 yards, and that is Mark Carrier's 400th career reception.
See number 83, Mark Carrier. And one of the things the wide receivers, especially Willie Green, was talking about is if they could get the defensive secondary. Right here you see Jeff Burris coming up in a hurry. They felt if they could avoid the contact or catch it before they made that break and got to him, that they had a chance to make a big play. And right there, Mark Carrier almost breaks it for a touchdown.
Derek Moore on the delay goes over the top. 4-yard pickup for Moore. Panthers, of course, released Barry Foster, who they brought in from Pittsburgh, acquired in a trade. Both Moore and Vince Workman completed their first full week of practice this week. And they have already outgained their total of week 1 on the ground with 54 yards. Derek Moore. Led by Phil Hansen. Gain of 2 yards. Clock continues to run. 5.5 to go. Second quarter.
They told us, Coach Capers told us he wanted to get Derek Moore into the offense, give him the football. They're doing that this first half. He said, you mentioned Vince Workman, that they wanted to work him in on third down situations. We've yet to see him play. But those are a couple guys they wanted to get involved and get him in there.
Reich on 3rd and 4. Nobody there. Pass was well behind the intended receiver, Willie Green.
Right here you see Bruce Smith, who's right there pressuring Frank Reich. Beats Frank Garcia to the outside quickly. See Curtis Whitley coming over, and that's one of the things, talking to Coach Jim McNally, said they wanted to do was slide the line over there, but because he beat Frank Garcia quickly to the outside, it didn't give Curtis Whitley a chance to get over and help him.
52-yard attempt by Casey, and he's got it. John Casey now 7 of 11 during his career from 50 yards or more. He hits from 52 yards, and the Panthers' lead is now 6-0.
Well, he bounced back from that first miss, and he's hit these last 2, including this long one here, to take a 6-point lead. The Panther offense has been able to control the football here. They haven't been able to get in the end zone, but with John Casey, they've hit on 2 or 3 field goals. And as long as I've been hitting this point, as long as they can continue to run the football, they can avoid letting Bruce Smith pressure Frank Reich like he did on that 3rd down play. And that young offensive line, with really the one veteran being Derek Graham, that's come over from Kansas City, that young offensive line has been doing a pretty good job controlling the Bills' defensive front.
So the Panthers have taken advantage of 2 Kelly interceptions, and they lead 6-0. 52-yard field goal by John Casey, who spent his first 4 seasons in Seattle. Back deep for the Bills, Derek Holmes and Ken Irvin. Remember, Holmes fumbled the last time, and he does it again. 2 returns, 2 fumbles, yet he recovers both.
I'll be very surprised if you see him back there next time the Panthers kick off. 2 times in a row, a rookie, I would be very surprised. It has to be just a lack of concentration. It appears that he's looking the football in, but he might just be peeking out of the corner of his eye to see who's getting close, and it just takes that much that makes him not catch the football. Right there you see Chad Cota. These guys are a special breed that come down on these coverage teams. They do whatever it takes to get the ball carrier.
Now the fans continue to boo the Bills as they keep it on the ground with Thurman Thomas. The Bills offense has not been able to get much done in this first half, as Kelly is 1 for 10. Thomas has gained 37 yards on 10 carries. Bills have turned the ball over twice. And the Panthers with the 7-minute advantage The time of possession. It's Thomas again. Thomas gains 4 yards on second down. Anthony tonight joined hosts Sybil Shepherd and Jason Alexander along with Heather Locklear, Jerry Seinfeld, Candace Bergen, George Clooney, Jimmy Smits, and more as Fox presents the biggest night of television on television. It's the 47th Annual Emmy Awards right here on Fox, and we would like to wish the best of luck to Jeff Fleckner, the brother of our director Peter Fleckner. Jeff up for an Emmy in the Outstanding Individual Achievement in Directing of a Miniseries category, serving in silence with Glenn Close. So good luck tonight to Jeff Fleckner. Kelly on third down is, let's see, is it an interception? No. No, the ball hit the turf. Brett Maxey, who picked off Kelly earlier, thought he had not only his second interception, but a clear path to the end zone.
Well, he didn't get the interception, but they do have to punt the football away. See right there, Mike Fox working on Ostrowski. And Maxey just doing a super job. And we talked earlier about how he was assigned to the tight end. You see him guarding Lonnie Johnson right there, makes a nice break. Pretty good coverage, but then it's the break as soon as the football's thrown that allows him to make the near interception.
Timeout. Buffalo.
The Bills call their first timeout with Chris Moore getting set to punt. Jim Kelly, 1 of 11, 4 yards, 2 interceptions.
Well, a lot of it has to lay on his shoulders because he's not throwing the ball that well. But you also have to look at the people that are making the attempts to catch the football. They have to get open. And from the way when you watch Jim Kelly drop back and the time he takes, it only tells me that the guys are not getting open. Sure, he's 1 of 11, not having a very good day, and that's why you're hearing the boos here in Rich Stadium.
Jim Kelly told us on Friday that it was hard to prepare for the Carolina defense because the Panthers played the Atlanta Falcons last week, and the Falcons, of course, use the run-and-shoot offense. So Kelly actually went back and looked at tapes of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense under Dom Capers for the last 3 years. And Kelly had trouble against the Steelers at least the last 2 seasons as the Steelers beat the Bills 23-0 and 23-10, and Kelly was sacked a total of 10 times. Eric Gulliford from the 45-yard line. Pulled down by Sam Rogers, number 59. As he approaches midfield, 36-yard punt by Moore. So the Panthers offense trots back out. On their last 2 possessions, John Casey field goals of 34 and 52 yards.
Well, Kenny, you bring up the point that it was hard to prepare because they saw just about all nickel or dime defense from the Panthers. Well, he should have watched some film there because he's not having a whole lot of success on third down, so he should have been able to prepare in that.
Here's Derek Moore on 1st and 10, finds a hole into Buffalo Bills territory, gain of 7 yards. So Derek Moore getting the job done in the Panthers backfield here today, 36 yards on 9 carries.
As we look at this Panther running game, where they're having success and the type of runs they're running that are being successful is they allow the defensive linemen to make their move upfield. As you see there on the left side, Bennett and Smith both start upfield, and then the offensive linemen just take and wheel them, and then the back chooses his hole, the loose cross, which they're being successful with.
Derek Moore on 2nd and 3, and it looks as if he has the first down. Bryce Pop made the stop. And they move the chains. First down for the Panthers.
Getting back to that style of run that they've been running, it takes some of the pressure off the offensive linemen because they know they do not have to get to the line of scrimmage and blow the defensive lineman off the ball backwards, if they can use the momentum of a defensive lineman and just push and shove him, and that gives them a chance to create openings, create holes, therefore the running backs can pick and choose.
2-minute warning in Buffalo. Frank Reich and the Panthers lead by 6. Kenny Albert, Anthony Munoz from Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The hometown Bills in their home opener, they are trailing the first-year Carolina Panthers. Many of their players said We do not want to be called the expansion Carolina Panthers, but the first-year Carolina Panthers. It is 6-0. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, scores from around the NFL. And for those of you who may have missed it, Pam Oliver chats with Deion Sanders. That's coming up next on the Dockers halftime. Deion Sanders, the newest member of the Dallas Cowboys.
The richest and newest.
Yes. Panthers on 1st and 10. Derek Moore continues to find holes in the Bills' defensive line.
Well, one of the things that makes it nice is having a lead back like Howard Griffith there, number 30, or who comes through and makes a nice block right there on number 96, Monty Brown. You like to see that when the fullback just has that sense to get up there and just stick his face right into a blitzing or a linebacker that's plugging that hole.
2nd down and 7, minute and a half to go. As Moore is stopped and flags are thrown, so the clock will stop with 1 minute 21 seconds until halftime. Holding Carolina.
Mistakes by those young offensive linemen. And I'm sure Jim McNally on that Panther sideline is, as you see him right there, he wants some answers.
Holding, 74, offense. Still 2nd down.
That's the veteran of that group, Derek Graham, 6-year, who last week had 4 early starts in crucial situations against the Falcons. And right there, he's called for his first one, holding.
3 of those 4 false starts last week over the final 4 minutes of the game.
Right here, you see Derek Graham at the right tackle position. Kind of hugs the defensive lineman. That's one of the things. Phil Hansen, number 90, he's playing against. You always want those hands inside the framework of the body. You don't want to go around the body.
On 2nd and 14, Christian. They hold Christian in bounds, so the clock continues to run after the 4-yard pickup. Panthers still with 2 timeouts remaining, but they take their time and huddle up.
It's interesting. Here, as the time's running down, I mean, you would think that they would feel a sense of urgency and want to run as many plays as possible, but they're taking their time as the clock runs down to 50 seconds.
Can they possibly feel comfortable going into the locker room at halftime up by 6? Wright's pass is batted down at the line. Jim Jeffcoat spent the last 12 years with the Dallas Cowboys, signed as a free agent by the Bills.
Right here, you see number 77, veteran defensive lineman, going against Derek Graham. Again, Derek Graham, not a bad job taking him to the outside, but Jeffcoat's sense is when he's close to the quarterback and then gets his hand up to knock the pass down. A lot of times you don't have to get to the quarterback. You do small things like that to create big plays.
Barnhart's punt bounces into the end zone. And the Bills with 30 seconds to go. And they will take over with a half minute left in this 2nd quarter. Jim Kelly, 1 of 11. 2 interceptions. Kelly picked off by Tim McKyer and Brett Maxey. 2 John Casey field goals have accounted for all the scoring.
And last week against the Broncos, having trouble on 3rd down, converting, keeping drives alive. Same thing this afternoon.
Derek Holmes, the rookie who fumbled twice on returns. Holmes met by Lamar Lathan, and he loses 2 yards. Clock continues to run. The Bills had 2 timeouts remaining, like the Panthers, yet they will let the clock run out. That will do it for the first half from Rich Stadium. The Carolina Panthers lead the Buffalo Bills 6-0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers halftime after this message and a word from your local station.
Dockers Khakis, proud makers of nice pants.
All right, and welcome back to Studio 7 for the Dockers halftime, along with Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. The game you're watching right now, Carolina and Buffalo. Yes, indeed, 6-0 Carolina leading. Buffalo's Jim Kelly having a rough day.
He has had a rough day. Only 1 for 11 and 4 yards. He's had 2 interceptions. Should have had 5 interceptions. And it looks like young Collins might come in now and take his shot.
All right, so the Giants are responding nicely to that embarrassment Monday night at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys, leading 10-3, that one in the third. Detroit and Minnesota all tied at 10. Barry Sanders, 7 carries for 3 yards. He's being bottled up. Tampa Bay and Cleveland, right now, Vinny Testaverde extracting revenge against his ex-mates. 19-0, Cleveland leads it in the second. New Orleans and St. Louis, the Rams with a healthy and effective Jerome Bettis, leading 17-3 over the Saints. New England and Miami expected to be a shootout. Miami holding to a 14-point halftime lead. Oakland and Washington, Jimmy Johnson says Michael Westbrook is the real deal, that is. Real deal as well. 3-3 there. And the Steelers, Terry's ball club, 17-3 over Houston. That despite losing Rod Woodson and Neil O'Donnell. And folks, there's plenty more football to be played throughout the day, but later tonight, right here on Fox, starting at 8 Eastern, it is the Super Bowl of television, the Emmy Awards. And for more on the awards, here's a guy who certainly knows just a little bit about TV himself, Mr. Dick Clark.
Thanks, JB. We're live just hours before the 47th Annual Emmy Awards has beamed over 600 million viewers all over the world. Now, a show like this requires immense concentration, a military-like precision. Tell you what, let's check in with this year's co-host Sybil Shepherd and Jason Alexander as they zero in on those last crucial minute preparations.
Run, you genetic mutated freak, run!
You fucking go for people.
Forget about it.
I'm sure they'll pull it together tonight.
Remember, women in tight dresses getting out of cars, 7:30.
A woman with big awards at 8 o'clock. Pretzel?
All right, that is, in fact, right here at Fox, 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight, the Emmy Awards. Coming up next, as Dockers halftime continues, an extended interview with Deion Sanders. Welcome to Dockers Halftime. The big news, of course, in week 2 of the NFL season is the signing of Deion Sanders by the Dallas Cowboys. Now, in case you missed it in our Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, Deion Sanders sat down with our Pam Oliver and conducted this wide-ranging interview.
Why Dallas?
Because it had a lot more to do with money. Because, to be honest with you, there was so much more money out there, you know. But Dallas, I mean, guys like Emmett, Troy, Mack, I mean, they're key players in other positions also, are about my age. And also they're locked up for at least 4 years. That means we will at least play together for 4 or 5 years. And I truly see a few Super Bowls in those years. I truly see a lot of winning in Dallas.
Were the 49ers ever in the ball game, really? Yeah, they were. You had to think about that.
Because, I mean, I'm being realistic. I don't lie. I don't shoot game. I'm being real with you. They were in it because of the baseball situation, truly, and playing, I mean, just having everything in one city. That was really appealing. Because of my kids in school, you know, my daughter's 5, she's in school now, and moving her back and forth and going from city to city, it gets to be hectic. But I mean, that was emotional kind of thing, leaving Frisco. But I mean, I'm there for baseball, so I haven't totally left the city. The fans probably won't forgive me for that, but you know, that's business.
Will you play 16 games for the Cowboys next year?
I want to be a baseball player, a full-time baseball player, so I want to involve 16 games.
You and this baseball.
Right, I like the sport. I wouldn't do it just to be out there doing it, just to pick up from a few extra million. I wouldn't do it just for that. I do it because I truly love the game.
Is it in the contract that you will play offense for the Cowboys?
They know what I want. They know what I like. I don't want to just play offense just because it's just a fantasy. If I can help the team, I want to do anything to help the team win. If that means me lining up in the slot and make out why you can't double make, because I'm there, and I'm going to hurt you if you double make. You know, just something to free another guy up. I mean, I don't care about getting a 10, 12 balls thrown to me. I just want to do everything to help the team.
So how's the ankle?
It's going to need orthoscopic surgery.
When?
Hopefully we win and we go to the playoffs in baseball and after the baseball season.
So you'll have the surgery, and then you'll pick up with the Cowboys.
Right.
What kind of recuperation time are we talking? When might you join the team?
I've seen guys have a scope and play the next week. Not that I want to rush myself because we are planning on turf. 3-4 weeks, hopefully. But, you know.
After the baseball.
Right.
What makes Deion Sanders worth all these millions?
They can say what they want off the field. I'm this way, I'm that way. But on the field, I do my job. I do my job well.
So Deion is now a Cowboy. All right, we'll send you back to the site of your game after this.
Improvement, Monday through Saturday at 7:30.
Welcome back to Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. At halftime, the Carolina Panthers, on the strength of 2 John Casey field goals, leading the Buffalo Bills by the score of 6-0. Kenny Albert with Anthony Munoz. Anthony, last Sunday night, Bills lost in Denver 22-7. So they've only scored 7 points through 6 quarters. And when you look at the numbers from the first half, Jim Kelly just 1 of 11, and the Bills have not converted a third down conversion.
Well, they're 0-6 today. They're just not doing a good job sustaining the drives, and it boils right back down to that 1 of 11, the third down being a big down for this offense. You're used to having this offense score 20, 30 points a game, and they're just not getting it done right now.
Kelly has thrown 2 interceptions in the first half, the first into the hands of Tim McKyer.
Well, you have to credit that veteran defensive front for the Panthers. Cragen, Gerald Williams. Right here you see Mike Fox, 6'7", getting his hands up going against Glenn Parker. Bats the ball down, and right there the interception made. This group has been super. Not to mention, you mentioned those front guys. You have to include Darian Connor and Lamar Lathan right here out of frustration. He tries to make a tackle, but his former teammate Carlton Bailey takes and puts him on the turf.
So a very frustrating afternoon for Bills quarterback Jim Kelly. The Bills will receive the second half kickoff. Back deep for Buffalo, Derek Holmes and Ken Irvin. John Casey connected from 34 and 52 yards in the first half. And here is Holmes, who does not fumble this time. And here's the sarcastic roars from the crowd, and he is upended by Chad Cota, who we spoke about earlier. He made this team based on his play during special teams in the preseason. 7th-round draft pick.
And Chad Cota, number 37, going down. And I might have been a little tougher on my players if I was a coach, because I mentioned the first half after the second fumble that Derek Holmes would not be in there. But sure enough, he's back there receiving the kick, and Chad Cota making the tackle on that one there.
Cota out of the University of Oregon. 1st and 10 Bills from the 24. Kelly will go to the air. It is incomplete. The intended receiver, Thurman Thomas, who caught Kelly's only completion in the first half. And Jim is now 1 of 12.
Well, I think we hit that point at halftime, talking about, as you see it right here, 1 of 12 for 4 yards. Sure, he's not had a good day. I mean, that's a bad day right there. But you have to look at the offensive line as they go right to the no-huddle offense. They have to step it up and give them some time to throw.
Thurman Thomas across the 25-yard line. So the Bills with another third down opportunity. They are 1 for 18 this season on third down.
And you can see right here as we go into the replay, you can see that front three right there. Cragen, number 71. Mike Fox, number 93. And you see coming late Gerald Williams. They just hold their ground and allow no room at all, no running room. Therefore, it's third down and long for the Bills.
Kelly out of the shotgun. Kelly over the middle, picked off. Sam Mills. Sam Mills with the 3rd Panthers interception of Kelly. And he returns it 12 yards. The 4-time Pro Bowler, Sam Mills, the leader of this Panthers defense.
Right here, number 51, Sam Mills, reading Jim Kelly all the way. Just makes the break, steps in front of Andre Reed, and there you go, 0 for 7 on third down conversions. The Panthers in excellent field position starting on the Bills, 20-yard line. See right there, Sam Mills just kind of makes a nice break. He's hanging right in that middle, playing a little zone right there. Kelly throws it right into the zone, allowing Mills to make the pick.
First and 10 from the 20. Here's Derek Moore. Wrestled to the ground by Cornelius Bennett. For Sam Mills, career interception number 5. Right now, the third time, Anthony, third time Jim Kelly has been picked off this afternoon.
Excuse me, Kenny, on that one. Right now, at this point in the game for the Carolina Panthers, all they have to do, the way their defense is playing, is Frank Reich has to take this offense and not make any major mistakes, control the football, and try to get some points here.
Second down and 7. Derek Moore. Moore met by Maddox as he crosses the 15.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of the lead draws with the offensive linemen let their guys go. Right here you see Matt Elliott, who will pull on a trap. They run the lead draw. Now let's pull a guard and kick out number 58 right there, who is Marlo Perry, and take him up through that hole. So they're changing it up pretty good here starting the second quarter.
Third down and 3. Metzelars in motion. Right, looking for Metzelars, and it is off his fingertips.
Right there, Metzelars is wide open. You can see by his reaction, he knew that ball gets to him. He walks right into the end zone. Right here, you see him coming in motion. He's just going to take it out there. And like I said, Frank Reich pressured right there. As you can hold it, he had 10 yards after the catch just to walk right into the end zone.
33-yard field goal attempt. John Casey. It is straight through. So the Carolina Panthers, with their third field goal of the afternoon, they now lead the Buffalo Bills by the score of 9-0.
The all-new Avalon. By Dockers Flat Front Khakis, proud makers of nice pants. By Visa, official card of the NFL. And by IBM, solutions for a small planet.
Anthony, when you visited Niagara Falls, did they have a yellow raincoat big enough for you?
Had a couple of them. One for my upper body and one for my lower body.
Here's Ken Irvin from the 6. And Irvin is taken down at the 16-yard line by number 92, Sean Price. So the Bills will start out deep in their own territory on the 16-yard line. Jim Kelly, 1 of 13. He is 0 for his last 9, and during that stretch has thrown 3 interceptions.
Let's go!
3 wide receivers for the Bills. Reed joined by the rookie Justin Armour and Russell Copeland. They stay on the ground with Thurman Thomas. So 1 back, 3 wide receivers, and Thomas gets the handoff.
You know what's interesting about their set as they come out talking to Ken Hull, we asked him about the 2-back offense. He said there's more guys in the middle. Well, what they're doing right now, they bring in the 3 wide receiver. It spreads that defense out.
Good defensive play by Tim McKyer, diving in front of Thurman Thomas. And Kelly is now 0 for his last 10, and McKyer is holding his hand.
Well, he batted that one down, made a nice move on Thurman Thomas. Getting back to the point that I made, as you see right there, have not converted on third down in 5 quarters. That is something that you rarely ever saw from a Buffalo Bill offensive unit.
Kelly on third down, escapes pressure, and the pass is complete. Russell Copeland. Copeland all the way down to the 30, the 20. Touchdown, Buffalo. 77 yards.
Getting back to a point that we made earlier in the game, talking about their lack of getaways of running speed at the wide receiver position. Right there, you see Brett Maxey blitzing. Thurman Thomas making a nice block, picking him up. You see Russell Copeland with the ability to catch the ball. Justin Armour right here making a nice block, freeing him up the rest of the way, the last 15 yards. But right there, Russell Copeland showed he can run away from people.
The extra point converted by Steve Christie, the fourth longest pass play of Jim Kelly's career. 77-yard touchdown strike to Russell Copeland, and the Bills have pulled within 9-7.
The reason this play works, first of all, you have Thurman Thomas who comes over, picks up Brett Maxey on the blitz. That allows Jim Kelly to throw the football. Steps up.
The kickoff rolls into the end zone. The Steve Christie kickoff. So the Panthers, Anthony, will start out from the 20.
Starts out with the great block by Thurman Thomas. Then you have the second block here by Justin Armour on Rod Smith right there, taking him down to the turf, allowing Russell Copeland to go all the way for a touchdown.
Justin Armour, the rookie from Stanford, playing in his first NFL game. Remember, Copeland was injured earlier. Back in the second quarter, he returns and makes his second career touchdown catch, and also the longest reception of his 3-year National Football League career. The crowd fired up. First and 10 for the Panthers. Derek Moore bottled up. Bryce Pop and Mark Maddox force Moore back.
You know, it's interesting. We've been hitting on the point about the Buffalo Bill offense and the lack of offense. We have to mention how this defense has kept this team into the football game. Carolina has picked off 3 passes from Jim Kelly, and they've started at the 15. Results, missed field goal, 21 field goal, 20-yard line field goal. This Bills defense has kept this team in the game here. They're only down 2.
Wright's pass is complete. Bob Christian, he gains 3 yards and was taken down by Bryce Pop. You're right, Anthony, that's 3 drives which started inside the Bills' 25-yard line. Panthers in excellent field position following the 3 interceptions, yet it resulted in only 6 points, so they could be ahead by even more. Yet the Bills' defense has played very well, and Buffalo has pulled within 9-7.
You see Bruce Smith coming over to the right side of the Carolina offense now.
Reich in trouble, and he is taken down by the combination of Phil Hansen and Jim Jeffcoat.
What happens when you have Bruce Smith moving around? You see him right here. All the attention goes to him. But what you have is Jim Jeffcoat and Phil Hansen. You see number 77 getting the push between Derek Graham and Matt Elliott. You have Hansen there. They take him down. So a lot of times what happens is you concentrate too much on Bruce Smith, frees up the other guys one-on-one.
And the officials ruled that Reich was not down prior to the fumble, which the Panthers did recover inside the 5. Bills will start out in terrific field position from the Panthers' 41. 36-yard punt by Barnhart.
This year, thousands of people...
Tackle number 700 on the previous play from scrimmage by Jim Jeffcoat. First and 10 for the Bills from the Panthers' 41. Anthony, this will be their first play from scrimmage today in Panthers territory. The only time they were across the 50, the 77-yard touchdown pass, Kelly to Copeland. Only the second completion of the day by Kelly. Looks to make it 3. Intended for Justin Armour. Good coverage on the play from Chad Cota and Brett Maxey. Another look at Cota, who we talked about earlier on the special teams.
Now he's called to come in the secondary, and play back there, making a nice play. And one of the things I noticed on that first play with Jim Kelly, he had plenty of time to throw the football.
Second down and 10 on the reverse. Reed takes the handoff from Thomas, and he has the first down. Body checked out of bounds by Cota. 11-yard gain on Andre Reed's second carry of the game.
And who was out there leading the way but number 12, Jim Kelly, attempting to make a block on Gerald Williams, just enough to get him out of the way. You see right here, giving it to Thurman Thomas. You see, right, if you could just hold it right there. Nips at the feet of Gerald Williams just enough to get him slowed down.
Thomas on first down has another Bills first down. And he was finally brought to the turf by Cota. 12-yard gain for Thurman Thomas. Bills moving the ball extremely well here in this second half.
Well, this looks like a totally different football team. The crowd came alive. This Buffalo Bill offense is coming alive. Right there, nice run by Thurman Thomas. They go right to the line of scrimmage.
First and 10 from the 18. Thomas, 2-yard gain. He now has 60 yards on 15 carries. Thurman Thomas, 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons. The NFL record is 7, held by Eric Dickerson.
And if he gains 100 yards today, he will tie Barry Sanders for having 41 100-yard games.
That will be the most among active players. Thomas out to the 10, of course. Barry Sanders and Thomas, teammates at Oklahoma State. Thomas, the workhorse, Anthony, 46 yards last week against the Denver Broncos. He's already surpassed that total here today.
And it's interesting, the Bills come out here, they said they would just use the no huddle in certain situations, and they must feel that they have this defense on their heels, and they're coming right out, continuing to go with the no huddle.
Here's Reed again as the first down. So on 3rd down and 2, the handoff went to Andre Reed, who has not made a reception today, yet has carried the ball 3 times.
Right here you see Andre Reed coming around, the fake to Thurman Thomas, Kelly giving it to Reed. And with the way Thurman Thomas is running the football, good call, because that defense is just firing over to where Thurman Thomas is going. All of a sudden, Kelly comes out and hands it to Reed.
First and goal. Thomas down to the 1. 6 yards on the carry by Thurman Thomas, so it will be 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line as they send in Tony Klein, the tight end, and Tim Tyndale at fullback. The 3 wide receivers come to the sidelines. 2nd and goal from the 1. 3 backs, 2 tight ends.
Bringing all the big people, they're just lining them all up and saying, we're going to go one-on-one with you.
Thomas. And he is stopped by Lathan. A loss of 3 yards. The former Houston Oiler, Lamar Lathan, able to stop Thomas back at the 4-yard line.
Number 57, Lamar Lathan, using his great speed for a big guy to come up and make the stop. Right there, he reads it nicely. Carwell Gardner cannot come through. He's picked off, cannot come through for the lead block, allowing Lamar Lathan to make the tackle. Carolina calling a timeout.
Carolina, number 1.
When we return, 3rd and goal from the 4 for Kelly and the Bills. To take the lead, 3rd and goal on the 4-yard line. They trail the expansion Carolina Panthers 9-7. 6 of Carolina's 9 points coming directly off turnovers. The Buffalo Bills with 3 turnovers, not the Panthers. Bills have thrown 3 interceptions, and almost half of Buffalo's total yardage came on one play, the 77-yard touchdown by Copeland.
And it was more than the total first half yardage.
Yes, 77-yard touchdown. 3rd and goal. Thomas, touchdown.
they spread it out. 3 wide receivers. They go to their familiar one-back set, and they run a little lead, or actually a delayed draw. You see the left side here of Fina and Reuben Brown. Nice block on Gerald Williams. What happens there, he stays with the block, and he takes him down as Williams attempts to make the tackle. That's called finishing the block by the rookie.
The point after by Christie. Career touchdown number 67 for Thurman Thomas. In Buffalo as Steve Christie gets set to kick it off following Thurman Thomas's 4-yard touchdown run to give the Bills the 14-9 lead. Randy Baldwin and Dwight Stone await the kick. Stone. Yard return by Dwight Stone. Derek Holmes made the stop.
Kenny, what you like to see right here from your offensive lineman, Reuben Brown going against Gerald Williams. He makes initial contact on this nice little draw. As we can see this here as we roll it. Makes the contact. He feels that Gerald Williams is coming off to make the tackle, and that's when you finish the block, something that you like your offensive lineman to do, and that gives Thurman Thomas that little bit of crease to score on that touchdown run.
The Panthers practiced with simulated crowd noise during the week, and it may be affecting them here.
False start.
Right there, you have Blake Brockemeyer.
Offense.
Last week it was Derek Graham who jumped 4 times, and right up here you see Blake Brockemeyer. I'm sure he's looking in. You can see his head looking in. A lot of times what you do is a tackle, and I experienced that in loud stadium. If you don't hear the quarterback, you have to look in and see the football being snapped. Right there, he jumped too early.
How loud was this stadium when you played?
They can get pretty loud compared to stadiums around the league.
From the 17. Right. Swings it out. Vince Workman spins his way up to the 23-yard line. 6-yard gain. Mark Maddox on the stop. Vince Workman, the former Buccaneer and Packer. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Carolina Panthers. After last week's Panther loss to the Falcons in overtime, Atlanta coach June Jones said, "I feel like we survived." Well, the Bills must feel a bit of relief after finally putting points on the board. They were shut out in the first half by Carolina.
Especially after only being down 9-0 and 3 interceptions.
Right. Now looking for Carrier. But the pass was behind Mark Carrier. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Well, Carrier turned right away to Frank Reich and gave him some hand signals. Yesterday, talking to Willie Green, he said they were so comfortable now as teammates that they would give each other hand signals. And right there, Frank Reich did not hesitate throwing the out, and Carrier was not going out, so there had to be a slight mix-up there.
Carolina has not yet reached the 100-yard mark. In fact, Reich, who passed for 329 yards in the opener, only 34 so far today. 3rd down and 9. Reich's pass is almost picked off the intended receiver, Willie Green. And the Panthers will be forced to punt. Good coverage. Thomas Smith led the way.
Well, you see Cornelius Bennett there making it appear like he's going to blitz, but he drops back off. A quick drop, short drop, quick throw. That ball is a catchable ball. Willie Green has to come down with that football, which he doesn't. You know, he talked to us yesterday about how he's catching 200 balls per practice. Boy, that was one that he should have had.
Certainly was. Jeff Burris, a native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, where the Panthers offices are located. Special teams specialist Paul Butcher made the stop. 51-yard punt and an 8-yard return. Anthony, next week it's Fox NFL Sunday, when many of you will see the St. Louis Rams and the Carolina Panthers, or other exciting regional action. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. The Panthers with their home opener 1 week from today down at Clemson.
And you and I both will be down there watching that one.
Yes, we will. Looking forward to the home opener. Panthers will play in South Carolina this season and move to their new stadium in Charlotte next year. Kelly jumps it off. Thurman Thomas. Thomas high steps across the 50, down to the 40.
He's gone. One guy to beat.
Taken down inside the 10. 57-yard pass play. Only the third completion by Jim Kelly. The second went for 77 yards, and this one 57.
Oh, Russell Copeland's touchdown catch. He caught it, made a long run, rack yards, rushing after the catch. And right here you see Thurman Thomas catching the football. Nice block by Kent Ho. Russell Copeland making a nice block. He received a nice block on his touchdown catch right there. He springs Thurman Thomas through.
Derek Holmes spins his way down to the 3. Yes, you talk about the newest statistic, the unofficial stat, RAC, run after the catch. Jerry Rice last week with the 49ers victory over the Saints, and here today on the touchdown, Copeland went 77 yards, 65 after the catch. Kelly looking end zone, throws it away under pressure. And he also took a hit, so it will be 3rd down and goal.
Mike Fox putting the pressure, putting the hit on Jim Kelly. This looks like the Buffalo offense with the pass, coming out and scoring points quickly. See him here on a slight rollout, not staying back in the pocket. And Mike Fox gets through, putting hit on him, making him throw the ball out of the end zone.
3rd and goal. Thomas's touchdown came on 3rd and goal. Holmes, touchdown! Seventh-round draft pick out of Portland State, and I wonder if he's saving that ball for his brother, who is up for murder charges, Anthony. Derek Holmes supporting his brother over the last few months, and he scores his first career touchdown.
You have Reuben Brown and John Fina pulling from the left side, coming around. Key blocks there on that touchdown run by Derek Holmes. You know, it's interesting. This Buffalo Bill team comes out this second half a totally different football team. One of the things, as we watched practice on Friday, I noticed they're down here running some red zone plays, and somebody did something wrong, and all of a sudden Marv Levy steps up, and all you hear is his voice. He starts yelling at the guy about doing this correctly, and all the talking stopped. He was kind of like E.F. Hutton. He started to talk, and everyone listened. I'm sure at halftime he stood in front of his football team, and it appears so far that they listened to what he had to say at halftime, because they've come out here and they've exploded offensively.
3 touchdowns in this 3rd quarter. 4-play drive, 65 yards. The key play, 59-yard reception. Kelly to Thomas.
Well, you have both Reuben Brown and John Fina coming around on the touchdown run by Derek Holmes. You see the line taking the defense one way. There you have it. Reuben Brown just smothering one block, and then Fina's the one that actually makes the big one as Derek Holmes just dances right into the end zone.
(21-9) Bills lead. Steve Christie will kick it off. Baldwin and Stone, the deep man. Randy Baldwin. Baldwin across the 30. And Derek Holmes, who just scored the touchdown, in on the stop. So Frank Reich and the Panthers will try and put some offense on the board. All of Carolina's points coming on John Casey field goals. And Jim Kelly looking on with a 21-9 lead despite having completed only 3 of 18 passes. Although those 3 completions going for 141 yards.
Russell Copeland and Thurman Thomas.
An average of almost 50 yards per reception. Oh, what a hit. Bruce Smith on Bob Christian.
I talked earlier about the double team, the triple team. There's times where you have to block them man on man. And right here, Blake Brockemeyer is called I'm sorry, right here, Frank Garcia is called to block him man on man, and he slips to the outside. Brockamar trying to help him, doesn't do it. Bruce Smith, with his quickness and his strength, gets through there. Just a tremendous athlete.
On 2nd and 11. 4-yard gain. Terrific audio here in Buffalo. So it will be 3rd down and 7. Panthers on the 33-yard line. Trailing 21-9. The Bills have scored touchdowns on their last 3 possessions. Panthers just 1 first down on their last 7 drives. And it's picked off. 4 consecutive touchdowns for the Bills. Kurt Schultz into the end zone. He returns it 34 yards.
Right here you see him, Ken Schultz, making the pick and taking it for 6. He breaks on it quickly. Frank Reich is just going back to his drop, and you saw there that Ken Schultz makes a break on it. A perfect Kurt Schultz making an excellent break on it for his first career interception, and he also gets a touchdown.
The extra point by Christie. Bills 28. And the Panthers 9. 4 consecutive touchdowns in the last 10 minutes of play here in the 3rd quarter.
You see those type of plays, and right here you have to look at Cornelius Bennett, who comes on the dog there, forces Frank Reich to throw the ball quickly. I'm sure out of the corner of his eye he sees those guys coming, and when he throws it, Kurt Schultz is there to pick it off and take it in for a touchdown.
Anthony, what would you have said if I told you that Jim Kelly would be 3 of 18, yet the Bills would lead 28-9?
I would have said, no way. No way could that be possible. But it is. They're ahead right now, 28-9.
The Bills with more touchdowns than Jim Kelly has completions. The Panthers led 9-0 early in this 3rd quarter as Christie kicks it off. Whitestone. Stone cuts left, taken down at the 34-yard line. The Bills got on the board with the 77-yard touchdown pass, Kelly to Russell Copeland. Then a 4-yard touchdown run by Thurman Thomas. Derek Holmes into the end zone from 3 yards out. And less than 2 minutes later, Kurt Schultz, 34-yard interception return. Jim Kelly watching as his very close friend, Frank Reich, the former Bill, looks to lead the Panthers back. 1st and 10 on the 33. Reich airs it out, looking for Carrier. Covered down the play by Burris. We talked about Burris earlier, native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, where the Panthers are headquartered. He said his brothers were coming up to the game from South Carolina this weekend. He said, I hope they're rooting for me.
Well, you mentioned that point. Hope they're rooting for him because he says there's so much excitement down there about the Panthers, their new NFL football team. And he kept saying, how about me? How about me? I've been playing. All the talks about the Panthers.
2nd down, Derek Moore Gains 3 yards, and right now for a McDonald's game break. Here's James Brown in Hollywood.
Kenny, the valuable toes of Juan Rivera going for an NFL record 30 consecutive field goals. That 27-yarder is good, and it also puts Minnesota up 13-10 over Detroit in the fourth. Back to Kenny and Anthony.
Congratulations to Juan Rivera of the Minnesota Vikings, setting the NFL record. Here in Buffalo, Frank Reich just looking to gain a first down. It's 3rd and 7. Reich was looking for his favorite receiver, the former Bill Don Beebe, and he could not connect, and Tommy Barnhart will come out to punt once more.
Interesting talking to Bruce Smith. He felt that he had some guys along that defensive front that were capable of getting double-digit sacks, and right there he mentioned one name, Bryce Paup, who's come over from the Packers, making the hit on Frank Reich as he throws the football.
Bill Brooks, the veteran receiver, back deep for the Bills. Brooks, the longtime Indianapolis Colt Bearcats, at the 22. 44-yard punt by Barnhart. And flags on the play. The officials talking things over. And the penalty is called on the Panthers.
Don Capers has to be concerned about what's happened in this third quarter. Bills have just come off his offensive football team, and this Buffalo Bills football
illegal formation offense. The left tackle was not on the line of scrimmage. Will penalize 5 yards and re-kick.
Things have fallen apart here for this Panther football team. The Bill defense keeping them close into this football game, and then all of a sudden Jim Kelly coming out and making some big plays. He's got to be somewhat concerned. Along with that concern, it's good to have a guy like Frank Reich leading the offense to try to settle down those young linemen, that young offense.
Barnhart will punt it away once more. Bill Brooks. Brooks taken down by Randy Baldwin, 43-yard punt. Well, Anthony, on Tuesday, Laura Layton of Melrose Place seduces the richest man in town, and it's not Anthony Munoz. But the forbidden passion could lead to murder. Richard Crenna co-stars in the Name of Love, a Texas tragedy. World premiere motion picture inspired by actual events on the Fox Tuesday night movie.
Darn, I think I'm busy that night. I'll have to miss it.
Richest man in your town, perhaps?
No, I don't think I'd make any of the lists that come out.
Well, Jim Kelly minded on first down. He hands it off to Thurman Thomas. Anthony, in this third quarter, total yards, Bills 193, Panthers 3.
Should be 0. I mean, they have not done a thing offensively. And we hit on the point about this Bills defense, and they have been a big factor in this second half, coming out and really sparking things for this offense.
And a big factor in the first half. We talked about the terrific field position for the Panthers following the Kelly interceptions, yet the Bills defense held Carolina to just 6 points after the picks.
Well, when you go in at halftime as an offense and your defense has been able to do that, you have to feel good and say, hey, if we get things going the second half, our defense is playing well enough where we can score a couple touchdowns and we'll be right back in the football game, and they've done that.
Well, at the end of the third quarter, it's the Bills 28, the Panthers 9. Anthony Munoz in Buffalo, where Bills North lead Bills South by the score of 28-9. Marv Levy's former colleague, Bill Polian, general manager of the Carolina Panthers, and 4 former Bills players. Frank Reich, Pete Metzelaars, Don Beebe, and Carlton Bailey playing for the Panthers. Kelly almost lost the football, goes downfield, and it's complete to Copeland. his second big reception of the afternoon. This time, 35 yards, 77 on his previous reception.
Jim Kelly going back. Loses the handle on the football briefly. Right there, you see him just about drop the football. He recovers, makes an excellent throw, and Russell Copeland goes after the football. Tim McCarr overplays a little bit to the outside.
Thurman Thomas around the right side. Anthony, Jim Kelly averaging 44 yards per completion. If you look at his 4 completions today, 4 yards to Thomas early on, 77 yards to Copeland, 59 yards to Thomas, and then 35 to Copeland. So only one of his 4 receptions has gone for under 35 yards. You can have fun with these numbers. Second down and 2. Thomas on the delay. Has the first down. 5 more yards for Thurman Thomas. He now has 89 on 22 carries.
Thurman Thomas, he had big number 74, Glenn Parker, pulling her out from the right tackle position, leading the way. You look at the Buffalo Bill running plays, and they're mixing it up. A little misdirection here and there.
Kelly with plenty of time, and he threw it away. The intended receiver was Copeland. Anthony, the 28 points in the third quarter scored by the Bills, the most a Buffalo Bills squad has ever scored in the third quarter of a game. The team record in any quarter is 31, which they accomplished twice.
Well, the thing that's making this possible is the way they've been mixing the plays up. They knew against this Carolina defense they were having trouble, so there's a lot of misdirection runs, pulling up offensive linemen, and they knew that this Panther defense was going to be blitzing and moving around, so they're letting them pursue one way and then running the football the other way. And so far, the third quarter and the beginning of this fourth quarter has been successful.
And the nice play by Rod Smith, breaking up the pass intended for Bill Brooks. Wow, 229 yards in the second half. Just 3 for the Panthers. Here's Andre Reed on the reverse, his 4th carry. His 4th carry of the afternoon, and he was pulled down by the shoestrings by Sean Price.
Well, if you can't get the football to Andre Reed throwing it to him, might as well hand it off to him and let him run the football. They tried right there as Jeff Christie comes in to attempt a field goal.
And this will be a 39-yard attempt
62.
for Steve Christie. The kick by Christie is good. And with that field goal, he eclipses the 500-point mark in his National Football League career. 501.
By Porsche, there is no substitute. By Cigna, a business of caring. By Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. And by new and improved Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Another look at Niagara Falls. Jim Kelly and the Bills. 31 second half points. White Stone. Stone out to the 28-yard line out of flat.
Have a couple of the Buffalo Bills signaling holding against the Panthers. The one thing right here is we get the call.
Face mask call on the Bills.
Well, maybe the Bills trying to overturn that call and convince the official that maybe it was against someone else.
Number 94 of the kicking team. First down.
Well, the special teams player we talked about earlier in the game, number 94, Mark Pike, is called for the face mask penalty.
His second penalty this afternoon. Frank Reich and the Panthers, 1st and 10 on the 33. 3 wide receivers Vince Workman takes the handoff and gains a yard. Next week, Fox NFL Sunday features the St. Louis Rams and the Carolina Panthers. You may also see other exciting regional action. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. Anthony, you and I will be on hand next Sunday as the Bills host Indianapolis, the Panthers home opener against the rejuvenated Rams of St. Louis. Vince Workman, met by Maddox. Are you surprised the Panthers are keeping it on the ground and not using the passing game a little bit more here in the second half?
Yes, I am, especially being down 31-9. You would think there would be a little sense of urgency trying to score some points here, and they continue to run the football on the ground. Maybe this is just a way of trying to settle this offensive team down, come out, run the ball a couple times, but now they're faced with a 3rd and long.
All right, lets it go, and a flag. Willie Green, the intended receiver. Thomas Smith, the right quarterback, came together with Willie Green. And the call is on Thomas Smith. You know, this is really the first blowout situation the Panthers have been involved in. We showed you earlier.
Pass interference. Number 28, defense. 1st down.
We'll get back to that point in just a moment. Here's the interference call on Smith.
Well, you have Thomas Smith covering Willie Green. Not really right there late. He makes a move for the football, but his left arm engaged with Willie Green. That's where the penalty's called.
First and 10 in Bills territory. Movement prior to the snap. Bruce Smith very anxious to get to Frank Reich.
It was interesting watching Bruce Smith on that play. And he got the penalty. What he did on Blake Brockemeyer, you'll see Bruce Smith here. He kind of gives him a little flinch, you see there, just enough to get Brockemeyer to move. And right there, that experience by Bruce Smith pays off. You know, the fact that he didn't come across the line of scrimmage made that an offensive penalty. If he would have come across the line of scrimmage, then it would have been called against the defense, forcing the offensive lineman to move.
First down and 15. Oh, and Reich is taken down. Ted Washington. 3rd sack of the game for the Bills.
I'll tell you one thing, Blake Brockemeyer has jumped once, just the last play, but he has to be excited about the blocking he's doing against Bruce Smith. Right there, he takes him to the outside, and it's Ted Washington going against Matt Elliott, who comes through and makes the sack. Here we see Bruce Smith going against Blake Brockemeyer. He gets a nice, what we call a jam. That stops the defensive lineman, makes him redirect, and he does a super job there.
Workman on 2nd and 20. The general manager, Bill Polian, pulled Blake Brockemeyer aside earlier in the week, and he said, Blake, you have to be very nice to Bruce Smith. Call him Mr. Smith on Sunday.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Bruce Smith is a great player, but once you put the pads on and you get out there on that football field, maybe it's the initial play, but after that, he's another player, and you're trying to really physically dominate him.
3rd and 16. Once again, movement.
Ball start. 85. Offense.
Hoyer Tillman jumping on that one at the right tight end position. What happens is, I'm sure this Buffalo defense is using this crowd noise to their advantage. You see him right here at the tight end position. He's sitting there, he sets. Just a little too quick.
He was ready to block somebody.
Oh, Oh, he had great technique. The knees were bent, the hands were up.
4th and 21. Don Beebe, who was a crowd favorite here in Buffalo. Who could forget Beebe chasing down Leon Lett? And that is Beebe's first reception this afternoon, but well short of the first down.
Not only a crowd favorite, but a favorite of Frank Reich. You see Jeff Burris one-on-one there. Beebe making a nice upfield move that got that separation. Then he brought it back. That allowed him to catch the football.
Bill Brooks in single safety. Tommy Barnhart's 8th punt. It's a good one. Fair catch. Called for by Brooks at the 10-yard line. 34-yard punt by Barnhart. In Buffalo, where the Bills lead the Panthers 31-9. Anthony, take a look at this. The Buffalo Bills have played more games in the National Football League since the '89 season than any other team. Of course, the 4 straight Super Bowls. And Kent Hull told us the other day that making the playoffs, or not making the playoffs this past year, was a blessing in disguise. As Derek Holmes takes the handoff on the first down. Hull said the offseason felt like an eternity. His body had a chance to get young again, and it's made a big difference.
Well, he went through 4 surgeries after each one of these Super Bowls, and he said in the rehab process, he felt like he had to take a crash course in getting his body ready for camp and then going into the season, where he said this past offseason, he took a full month off, which made all the difference in the world with his body.
11 Bills played in all 4 Super Bowls, and I'll tell you, it's made a difference not making the playoffs last year and getting an extra month during the offseason. Tim Tyndale, his first carry in the National Football League. Tyndale from Canada, born in London, Ontario. One of the all-time great Canadian college players in history out of Western Ontario.
One of the things that Buffalo Bills want to do right now is control the football, and you have Reuben Brown on the left side along with John Fina just coming off the football, gives a hand check to the tackle, helping him out, and then he comes up on the linebacker, Sam Mills. Excellent block there. Nice game by the Bills.
3rd down and 5. Flags are thrown as Derek Holmes gains 2 yards, but penalty markers are down. Referee Johnny Greer.
Offside. 56. Defense. First down.
Darian Connor, 6-year veteran. Anthony, what is going through the Panthers' minds right now as they stayed close throughout the preseason, went 3-2, took the Falcons to overtime last week, and that 3rd quarter, they allowed the 4 touchdowns over 200 yards. What do you feel the Panthers are thinking?
Well, I think they're in a good situation because they do have a lot of veteran players that have probably been through this before. I believe with the veteran players, it'll help them out mentally, having gone through what they've just gone through the last quarter and a half.
You look at the Panthers' defense, and 10 of their 11 starters have started in at least 40 games. So while they might have inexperience on the offensive line, as Lamar Lathan is down, their defense is experienced. I mean, you look at the defensive line, 11-year veteran in Greg Cragen, Gerald Williams, 10 years, Sam Mills, 10 years at linebacker, Tim McKyer, a 10-year pro, Brett Maxey, 11. So the defense is experienced, and perhaps these guys will be vocal in the locker room after the game throughout the week and tell the youngsters to hang in there. It's a long season.
You mentioned youngsters. The one group that they will have to talk to, keep up, are the offensive linemen, a key group with this with the Panther offense. So those are the guys that you're going to have to take aside and say, hey, now we have to keep our minds into this. Times are tough right now, but we have to be able to bounce back.
And really 2 big plays keyed the Bills' 3rd quarter charge. 77-yard touchdown pass, Kelly to Copeland. And then the 59-yard reception by Thurman Thomas, which led to another touchdown. But other than those plays and the interception for the TD by Schultz, the Panthers able to hang in there, especially in the first half when they led at halftime 6-0.
And I think those situations are easier to address than if Buffalo would have taken each one of their touchdowns and gone 80, 85 yards each time they scored. You know, it's a matter of just eliminating the big plays compared to, okay, let's see what we can fix. They took the ball this time and they controlled the clock. They ran the ball on us. They took it 80 yards. I think that's much more difficult than just the big plays.
Second down and 5. Tyndale up the middle once again. The Bills fans had to be wondering at halftime what is going on. We lose in Denver 22-7 in the opener and shut out in the first half by the expansion Carolina Panthers, but the Bills exploded. 28 third quarter points. They lead 31-9. Bills home again next week. They will host the Indianapolis Colts, their AFC Eastern Division rival. And then an early bye week. Monday night game in Cleveland. Then the New York Jets and Seattle Seahawks come to town. So 3 of the next 4 here in Orchard Park. Eric Holmes does not look like he has enough for the first down. Stopped by Mills. It will be close.
This is a great opportunity for these offensive linemen. You have a big lead. You want to try to control the football, as Johnny Greer calls timeout to get a measurement. And right here, it's just a matter of either coming off, or you see Reuben Brown here, who'll pull around to the right. It's a good time just to try to get this running game going. Right there, you see not a whole lot there. He's trying to block Sam Mills, but Lamar Lathan, who was on the ground earlier, comes in and makes a nice play. This is always a nice position for offensive linemen to be in when you're up by 22 points and there's only 5:50 left in the football game. You just want to come off the football, try to dominate, try to control the clock.
The Bills 142 yards on the ground this afternoon, led by Thurman Thomas. 22 carries, 91 yards. 4th down at 1, so Chris Moore is out to punt. What a strange afternoon it's been. Jim Kelly only 4 completions. Frank Reich has completed 6 passes. Fair catch called for by Gulliford at the 22-yard line. 5:22 to go. 4th quarter. The Bills close to their first win of the season. Tonight at 8, 7 Central. Well, Anthony, the Panthers with a new quarterback. It is rookie Kerry Collins out of Penn State, 5th pick in the 1995 draft. They have amended the rule regarding the third quarterback this season. If the third quarterback plays in the first 3 quarters, numbers 1 and 2 cannot return, but the third QB can play in the 4th quarter. On the reverse, it's Eric Gulliford. And he is forced out of bounds. Monty Brown on the stop. Kerry Collins, 11-0 as a senior. And remember, the Panthers owned the first overall pick. They traded down with Cincinnati. And the Bengals selected Collins' teammate at Penn State, Kajana Carter. And they chose Collins at number 5.
Well, they say he's a quarterback with a lot of confidence. Of course, he's a big kid. I mean, at 6'5", 240, 245 pounds, with a very strong arm.
Here's his first pass attempt in the NFL, and it is almost picked off. Good job by Matt Elliott to bat the ball down after it hit a couple of arms and chests and other body parts.
Maybe a little volleyball experience there. Used great technique. See right up here, Kerry Collins trying to complete the pass to Mark Carrier. Jeff Burris, nice one-on-one coverage there. Nice and tight, as he told us, Whitey, that he loves the one-on-one competition out there. Well, it was either Derek Graham or Lawyer Tillman on that right side.
Ball start prior to the snap. 74, Offense.
That's Graham again.
Still third down.
Kerry Collins actually grew up in the same hometown as Frank Reich, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And many observers felt he had a hitch in his delivery, and he worked with Bill Walsh during the offseason to try and correct that hitch.
Is their number one pick? Yeah, you see a team that drafts the number one guys. You watch Frank or see Frank Reich on the side there. You know it's sooner or later before their number one pick. They have to get in there and play.
Oh, what a catch by Mark Carrier, but he was ruled out of bounds.
There's a flag on the field there. Usually, as we see Johnny Greer signaling holding against the Panthers.
Holding. 64. Offense. It's declined. 4th down. Go!
Curtis Whitley called for holding. There's Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith saying, we're a couple veterans, a rookie. Welcome to the big time.
The punt from Barnhart lands out of bounds. So the Bills will start out from their own 26-yard line when we return with Todd Collins at quarterback. Buffalo Bills 31, Carolina Panthers 9. Final minutes of this 4th quarter. At the end of the game, Anthony and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. We just had our first look at Kerry Collins. Here is Todd Collins, no relation, 2nd-round draft pick by the Buffalo Bills, 45th overall out of the University of Michigan. Todd Collins last week against Denver, 3 of 4, 36 yards, completed 50% of his passes in the preseason. Good second effort by Tim Tyndale.
Also a tight end, the rookie out of Stanford, Tony Klein. Right there you get Paul Butcher coming up and making the initial hit for the Panther defense. You see number 88, and 6'4", 251.
And his dad, also named Tony Klein, was a defensive lineman for the Raiders and the 49ers.
You know what's scary? You talk about the fathers of some of these players. You look on the other side of the football for the Bills. You have Ted Washington, whose father played for the Oilers, and I played against him 2 years.
So what does that mean?
It means I'm getting old.
Collins hands it off. Derek Holmes works his way up to the 34-yard line. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. Marv Levy in his 10th season as head coach of the Bills. Dom Capers, 9 years as an assistant coach with New Orleans and Pittsburgh. 3rd down and 5. Collins hands it off to Holmes, and he has the first down. Derek Holmes, who scored his first NFL touchdown earlier, gained 7 yards. Well, Anthony, the Bills veterans who have been forced to work out in the cold, the snow, the ice over the last couple of decades will be happy that the new Bills practice facility is just about completed. It will open in October adjacent to Rich Stadium. 12.5-story roof, and that was put in for the sole purpose of the punter being able to practice.
Well, the way these guys punt nowadays, the height they get on that, I think 12.5 stories should be plenty high.
I would think so. Derek Holmes pulled down by Brett Farinez. Holmes gains 4, so he's enjoyed a big second half. 23 yards on the ground, coming in relief of Thurman Thomas. We approach the 2-minute warning here in Buffalo. All of the Bills' points coming in the second half. Coming up on the postgame report, JB and Terry will have all the scores from week 2 of the 95 NFL season. That's all coming up next on the postgame report. It's the Bills 31 and the Panthers 9. Next week, Buffalo home for Indianapolis. The Panthers in their home opener should be charged up as the St. Louis Rams come to town. Second down and 6 for the Bills with Todd Collins at quarterback. Darren Combs around the left side this time. Anthony, in case you were wondering, Carolina Panthers, as we mentioned, hosting the St. Louis Rams next week, then the bye week. Tampa Bay comes to town on October 1st. Then the Panthers travel to Chicago and host the New York Jets. Panthers will fall to 0-2, and there is their owner, Jerry Richardson, former wide receiver with the Baltimore Colts. And Jerry set a goal of a Super Bowl within 10 years for the Carolina Panthers. Final minutes here in Buffalo. Darren Combs, another first down. Boy, has he run the ball well.
Well, it makes it nice when you have a big guy like Reuben Brown, number 79, and now into this Buffalo offense, Corey Lucci, number 72, coming around from that left side and just clearing the way. I could hear the hits up here as they pulled around and put some hits on those linebackers. Right there you see Corey Lucci, 6'8", 305 pounds.
And Corey Lucci, a native of Greenville, South Carolina, right near Clemson, where the Carolina Panthers will play their home games. We would like to thank our producer, Pete Macheska, director Peter Blackner, statisticians here in the booth, Eric Merlis and Ben Boma, as Collins goes to one knee, and that will do it. The Buffalo Bills with 28 third-quarter points as they erase a 9-0 deficit, score 31 unanswered points. The Bills defeat the Panthers by the score of 31-9. Our Miller Lite player of the game, Buffalo wide receiver Russell Copeland, third year out of Memphis State, 2 receptions, 112 yards after injuring his knee in the first half. Copeland with a 77-yard touchdown reception as Jim Calley and Frank Reich chat after spending 9 years together. Copeland's other reception went for only 35 yards after the 77-yarder.
Well, you look at the first reception, the 77-yarder, and that's, as we look at it here, that is the one that really sparked this Buffalo team in the third quarter. As you see Thurman Thomas making a nice block on Brett Maxey, and then after he catches the ball, he takes it all the way for a touchdown, and he's our player of the game. But we get back to the point. That score there really ignited this Buffalo Bill football team, and they came roaring back in that third quarter.
Well, for Anthony Munoz, this is Kenny Albert saying so long from Rich Stadium. The final score, the Bills 31, the Panthers 9.